How are you doing today, Katie?
I'm good. How are you? How was your New Year's?
Quiet. Perfect.
I love that.
It was really nice actually. I took it was nice because I took some time off and I actually took step back from writing, from everything, with a little bit of reading. And I watched some YouTube, a lot of YouTube. Worked on my 2022 business plan.
Oh,
Um,
good.
and got that pretty much nailed down. So yeah, so it was fun. It was good. It was gave me a chance to just kind of decompress and just not be so super hyper focused on book stuff. I still have a ton of work to do. I mean, a ton of work. I'm in the middle of doing the TikTok challenge on Facebook from the self-publishing school. They're doing a TikTok challenge. I'm new to TikTok, completely new to it, so I'm taking it, and it's very
I
overwhelming.
know. I'm taking it too. I'm totally scared about it.
Well, the thing is everything that I'm hearing is if you're a book talker, you want to focus only on book stuff. You don't want to mix personal stuff in because it screws up the algorithms, which is
Right.
fine. I have no problem with that. It's just figuring out what to post because I have books out and I have books that I'm going to be releasing this year that don't fit the lane that I'm in right now. Like, I'm focusing on my ancient world historical romances,
Yeah.
and contemporary doesn't fit. Um, and Civil War era doesn't quite fit. So yeah, it's gonna
Yeah.
be interesting.
It's going to be a few different things.
Yes, there's going to be a few different things.
That's exciting though.
It's very exciting, and I think once I get the hang of it, it'll be a lot less overwhelming. Right now, it's just I don't know what I'm doing, and this month is insane with education. I'm doing minicon this month.
Oh, me too. I signed up for it.
It's awesome.
It looks really good.
It does. I cannot wait. I'm doing the full anchors con as well, but it's just going to be
Yeah. I know it's so much. I know I'm doing the TikTok and the Amazon ad, Brian Cohen's that's
yep.
yeah, and the Inkers Con this month too. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I have so much going on. And a
Yes.
kid that wants to go to the skate park and do this and do that and everything else. I'm like, well, at least I have
Yeah.
a laptop that I can just take with me.
You'll never get bored. You will
Oh my
never get
gosh, no,
bored. Ever,
no,
ever, ever get bored.
no. I almost want to be bored right now.
I hear you there. Um,
Yeah.
so I'm got a couple more people that are supposed to be showing up.
Yeah.
Hi, Mara. I hope you're doing well. Hope you had a fantastic New Year's. Um, I Today it's kind of a little bit more of a relaxed environment, just because I've kind of had to take some time to do some reviews and see where I can, see where I can kind of pull some time to focus on other commitments, because I
Mhm.
have an insane schedule right now.
Oh, I know the feeling. And Happy New Year. And I'm glad to be here. I've been trying to come to these for a little while, but I have another Wednesday night commitment, and which I actually have for tonight, but I think I'm being stood up because they haven't shown up yet. So I was like, well, I'll go join these guys.
Why not? Um,
But we'll see how it goes. So if you hear
it's
another random voice, it's probably my other Zoom thing might pop up or whatever,
yeah,
but
it's
I'll
all
I'll deal
good.
with that at the time.
It's all good. This month is going to be absolutely phenomenal. We actually have two PAs coming in this month, which is like the virtual author PAs. We
Mhm.
have one who has just started her own company. Her name's Lola Clark. And we also have another one that is coming in, which I am like super stoked about. We actually have Alessandra Torres's personal PA coming in on the 26th to
Oh, nice.
chat with everybody. Don't ask me how I managed that one, but
I'm sure bribery was involved.
Just a wee bit. Well,
It's funny you say that because I just watched her webinar. I just finished watching it like 5 minutes ago. She did that one for planning for the year for 2022.
Yes.
And it was very good. So now I'm like, okay, I guess I have to write a business plan because I really should.
Yeah,
So I something, even though I know it's like it's going to lead to the sales pitch for whatever, she always drops such great information. You can't miss with anything. She always gives you for free. She gives you a lot of bang for your buck.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
So she's amazing.
Oh, she really is. And I'm doing, well, I went to Anchors Con last year and I scored free tickets to MiniCon this year.
Me too.
So I'm super stoked about that. They actually have one on doing a successful book launch. That's the only reason I'm going, honestly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just did my business plan for the year. Well, one of them. I have 3 to do. But that's okay. It's 3 different author brands, 3 different names, and 3 different lanes. So it's really important that I kind of keep everything organized so that I can focus on what I need to focus on, and really nail it this year, which is good because I should have done my homework a little bit more last year. I have a series that I'm putting out right now. It's called From the Shadows of Rome. I'm actually working on book 3, and it is ancient Roman gladiators. Think Russell Crowe, think Spartacus, and there are readers for it. The problem is that they're few and far between, and they're kind of hidden because it's not really a super hot genre right now. So yeah, I'm kind of sort of digging myself through the slogging through the swamp to find readers. I am finding them, but it's just, I want to see. I sat down and figured out what my numbers were, what I needed to be making to make a go of it. And I'm good. I think I'm good. The next series, though, I was smart. Have either of you ladies actually done Kindlepreneur offers it's a free thing, and it's called the Book Idea Validation Mastery. They actually offer it on their website, and basically what it does is it breaks down, it gives you a formula to break down to see if the idea that you have is going to fit the market, or if it's going to be one that you're going to have to put a little bit more time and energy into marketing. Really wish I'd known beforehand, because then I probably wouldn't have done the series. But hey, you live and you learn. I'm happy with it. I'm enjoying it. It's it's good. It's fun. It's dark and twisted.
You never know, just because if it may not be hot right now, a year, 2 years from now, it may be the next big thing. You never know.
Well, the way I'm looking at it, the next big gladiator movie that they put out, I'm guaranteed that I'm going to see sales, because and I'm ahead of the game.
Yeah, exactly.
So I had a couple of people that had said that they were coming, but they haven't shown up. So you know what? I don't want to hold you guys up. I know you guys have things that you need to do. I wanted to take tonight. Originally, I had a plan for this evening. I was going to talk about doing your goals and figuring out goals and how to, all of that stuff. But as I said, I kind of had to step back over the last couple of weeks that I took off and really focus on where I am commitment wise, what I'm doing. And so I'm not sure if either of you are aware, but I'm actually I actually do 3 podcasts and a YouTube channel.
No, I did not know that.
We are, yes, I work, I'm the moderator on Writing Guys. It's a podcast we're going to be launching this month, and it's a podcast for women writers to get the male perspective on questions.
Are these the guys from Anchors Con?
They are.
Oh, that was one of the best sessions.
Yes, and we've kind of tweaked the layout a little bit. These are going to be 30-minute episodes, but they're going to be released weekly. I'm trying to convince them to do 1 live a month, but we'll see how that goes, because we have to we have to mishmash schedules and stuff. And then the other one is I am the co-host of Writing Women podcast. And this is a podcast it's actually geared towards men to get questions answered on how to write real three-dimensional, non-stereotypical female characters.
Nice.
And we've already got 8 questions to do, and they are doozies, like kind of blow you away kind of questions. We are going to be doing our shows are going to be live. We're doing 2 lives a month on Facebook and YouTube. And then we're going to do the recorded, we're recording the shows, and then they go up onto and become available on like Google and Spotify and Apple and all those other places. But yes, so that's what we're doing. We're doing those twice a month. And then of course we have my channel, which is Adventures in Self-Publishing, which I have spent most of the day recording for and I'm trying to nail down get some really good topics, because I'm going to be doing 2 shows a month, and those 2 shows, one is going to be an interview, and then one is going to actually be craft or business related. So, and my work schedule at my day job has changed again. I'm down to, I'm 4 days full time right now, which doesn't really give me a lot of time to do anything else. So, I have decided that to be able to fulfill my commitments, I am going to be doing the roundtables. I'm going to be doing them bi-weekly. We are going to, and I'm going to be bringing in guests. This is going to be the same format. It's just going to be, instead of 4 shows or 4 roundtables a month, we're going to do it we're going to do it bi-weekly instead of monthly, like weekly. So that I can actually make sure that I'm giving myself time to fulfill my commitments to the other things that I'm doing, and give myself time to actually have a breath. By the time last year rolled around, the 2 weeks off that I had, I was still trying to work while I was having downtime. And yeah, I wound up like almost at burnout. So, you know, I want everything to be inclusive, as the same as ever, but I just unfortunately for me, time wise, it's like, yeah, I gotta someone's beeping.
Yeah, I think it's me.
I kind of have to figure out what I'm going to do for myself, so that I can maintain my health and, well, all those lovely things. So tonight is just kind of going to be a little bit of an update on that. This month we do have the 2 guests that are coming in that are going to be talking about author PAs, what they do, what the expense is, all of those things. And they are both going to be available for questions. So if you have questions on those days, they are Wednesday nights. I'm sorry, it's the only night that I have free. Then by all means, and even if you can't make it, leave a question. You can message me the question, whatever, and I can put it forward to them. I'm sure that there will be a ton of questions, but it's going to be a blast. Next month, I'm working on trying to get the guys from Plotter lined up. They're going to come on and talk about the program, talk about the updates, the upgrades, how to use the program, and all of that lovely stuff. So it's going to be a blast. And we are definitely going to be I'm trying to get some other information happening, and really trying to make it so that it's not just me sitting here rambling all the time. So yeah, so that's the game plan. I have had to, even with my podcasting, I've had to kind of take a step back there and say, yeah, no, twice a month is good. I do once a month. I do a recording for mine, and that's what I have. That's my schedule, because I also want to have time for family time, hubby and kid and pets, and eventually I want to finish making the table runner that I'm been working on for a week. Oh, that is so good. We got a Soda Stream at Christmas. Oh, it's saving me a fortune on Pepsi. But yes, so Does anyone have any thoughts, questions, a topic of conversation that they would like to just kind of chat about? I am I'm more than happy to answer anything that you guys may have. I was hoping that the others would show up by now, but they haven't, so we're just going to keep moving forward. Anyone have a release or anything like that?
My first book, the one you see here, Testing the Bodyguard, is going to go live on the 11th, and
Ooh.
I'm excited and terrified at the same time. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Awesome. So tell me a little bit about this book.
It's romantic suspense. The first book of a series, and all of the heroes are former Navy SEALs, and it's just really kind of very your basic romantic suspense. It's like, there's a bad guy, and usually it's the woman in jeopardy. I hate to be that cliche, but that's what's happening right now for these, until probably book 3. Then it's going to be kind of a reverse. I think I'm going to have, there's a woman that was not a Navy SEAL, but she works with these guys anyway, and I think she's going to be doing the protecting or something like that, but I'm still working that part out. And but it's basically there's in this first story, there's a woman she comes home from vacation and finds a strange man in her house, and it all freaks out. And then when she runs outside and gets away from him, but and she's very strong and independent, and she winds up having to accept the help of the bodyguard guy, which she really doesn't want, because she's very private, and he's trying to find out why is this guy trying to kill her and all that kind of stuff. So and it all ties together at the end. And,
So is each one of these books in the series a standalone, or is it kind of
and it's going to be standalone from the romance perspective. The hero and heroine will be happy for now or happy ever after at the end. And then there's going to be like, if you've read the Harry Potter series, there's going to be kind of like a Voldemort guy in the background, so he's going to be kind of manipulating bad guys through the book, through the different books, and then they're going to deal with him. I'm planning, hopefully by book 6 they'll deal with that guy, but each book will have an individual villain and an individual couple. Like I said, they work at the same agency, so they all know each other and they all work, so there'll be repeat characters, kind of thing. And then there's that guy in the background, and I'm thinking it's probably about book 3 or book 4 they're going to put it together that this guy is behind all the other guys.
I like that idea. It's very reminiscent. It really brings to mind my series that I'm actually releasing. I got my rights back to the first 2 books, which did not do well because they were not branded properly. The publisher that had them, even though they were part of the same series, you couldn't tell by looking at the covers that they were the same series. They were even the same genre, and they are romantic suspense. It's called Agents of Star. And it's an acronym. These people, that the agents of STAR, are actually, they're part of a super top secret anti-terrorism unit that don't exist. So they have ties to, in book 1, she has ties to this really high ranking military official who doesn't claim her as his daughter, but at the same time she is, and he does that because he doesn't want to drag her in, but she's one of the leading agents. And then she gets kidnapped and the SEALs have to run in and rescue her. And she's just as skilled as they are. She speaks 6 languages.
Nice.
And she's just totally, like, as far as she's concerned, he's this SEAL that's trying to protect her, all at the same time as find out why she's being stalked. She's like, he's a burr in her saddle blanket. It's just like, she just wants to get rid of him, but but he's super hot and she wants him at the same time. So she's like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah. Yeah, well, it is kind of similar to my, because she's attracted to him and everything, but yeah, but she doesn't want his help or anything like that. But she's also smart enough to realize that the guy who's chasing her is way out of her league, and she'd be a fool to try and face him by herself because yeah, so she is accepting his help, but is very reluctant, and she does have some secrets she's keeping, which because she believes they don't have anything to do with the guy.
Mm.
So
Oh,
that
I
kind
love
of thing.
those twists. I
Yeah,
love that. I love it.
Yeah, so there's that. And then in the second book, which I'm hoping to put out in February, I better put it out because it's already up for pre-order February 8th. The heroine is also not like Navy SEAL skilled, but she's a scientist and smart brainiac kind of thing. So my heroines are they're all strong and determined and smart, but they did not have the benefit of being a Navy SEAL at one point. So that's kind of where the guys come in. I think you're muted. Nope, still can't hear you. Nope.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, now I can.
Yes, my system for some reason changed my microphone. Don't ask me why, because I have no idea. Just randomly does that. So I was just wondering, are you doing rapid release? Like, are you releasing one book a month, or how are you going to?
That was the plan, but unfortunately, I got very overwhelmed with what it takes to really put out a book. I thought I knew stuff, but then until I actually did it, I didn't realize the stuff that I didn't know. It would just be simple things like when you were going to upload things, and it's like, oh, so I'm filling out the W-9 forms and stuff like that. All these little things you hadn't anticipated, or they'll ask you some question on there, and it would take me like an hour and a half of research to figure out what they were asking. Okay, thing. So I got delayed by a lot of that stuff. So book 3 is written in a very sloppy NaNoWriMo first draft. So I have a beginning, middle, and end, but it needs a lot of work. So I doubt I'm going to get it out in March. I'm going to try, but I would be very surprised if I succeed. But yeah, from this point, in book 4, I've written, I don't know, about 20%, maybe 25%. So that's going to take a while. So I doubt it'll be every month. But my plan is just to write them as quickly as I possibly can, and have them be good. And then as soon as they're ready, out they go.
Yeah, that makes sense. I applaud you. I couldn't do it. I looked at my release schedule this year. I actually have right now ready to go. I just need to put covers on them. I have 10, I have 13 books that I could release.
Wow.
That's just the ones that I've gotten the rights back on. No, actually, I
Oh.
have more than that. I have more than that because I've got the Dark Immortal series. I have seven books in that. Then I have my Canadian Heroes trilogy, which is 3 books in that. Then I've got the Stars ones where there's 2 in that. Then I've got a couple of other, So I could literally put one out every month. The problem with that is that it's not sustainable for me long term. So what I'm doing this year is I'm going to do 3 books this year under Patricia Bates, and then under Elise Wells, I'm going to start releasing the Dark Immortal series probably in March with the first book. Because I have to do covers. I have to do the covers for the entire series, and I have to brand them. And the covers that I want to do, that I want to design, are a little bit different than what, like, they're not so different that you couldn't pick out the genre, but they're different enough that they definitely stand out amongst the crowd. And I need to retitle, so there's a bit of work there. So I think what I'm just going to do is I might just do 4 of those books, and then the 3 under Patricia Bates, and then I have my series that I'm working on and I'm fleshing out right now, which is my Highlander series, which I have a feeling is going to be my moneymaker. I did my research there the other day, and I was looking at it, and I did the book title idea validation thing that I was mentioning, and you pick the first 10 or 14 books and then you average everything out. And yeah, the average, the top 14 titles that I found on Amazon, the average, once I pulled everything together and I, did all my math, the average per month in sales is just under $1,100 in that genre. And so that's pretty good when you consider that that's kind of creeping into where I want to be money wise and sales wise. So what Alessandro said about knowing your numbers is incredibly important, because I did my plan and I don't even have half my numbers. I did my plan based on my indie releases, because I don't have all the numbers from last year from the traditional publishing houses. So it makes it a little bit harder to do when you're trying to put together your business plan. But at the same time, it's, if I base it only on what I'm doing in indie wise, then it definitely is going to make more sense for me to move forward in that direction. And I hate to say it, but I'm kind of tired of giving control to other people on what my book is going to do and what it looks like. And
Right.
I don't know. I like indie.
Yeah, well, when she was going over that part, I felt kind of good, just because of the simple fact I'm starting at zero, so I don't have to worry about any of the past numbers at this point. But I had a question when you were talking about the covers. You said you wanted to do. Are you designing them yourself, or did you hire a designer?
No, I design my own covers.
Oh, nice. Good for you.
Thank you. I've been designing covers for almost 2 years now. I'm still
Do
learning.
you have a website for that?
I do romancingthecovers.com.
Okay.
Okay. There's a bunch of my pre-mades up there. I haven't posted anything new recently, just because I have literally been kind of focusing on one, like super focused on my writing, but I have a bunch of ones that I actually have to put up that are in historical, and I've got a couple that are in romantic suspense, and a couple of other ones that are, that are kind of fun and flirty. So we'll see, because I definitely have to update the website. So I do pre-mades, but I also do customs, and I enjoy it. I mean, I have a really good mentor. There's Shari there's a group on Facebook. She actually came last year. I don't know, Maura, if you had the chance to see the link to the video, but she teaches graphic design. She teaches it. And so she came in and she did some cover critiques and gave some feedback and really kind of broke down the steps on how to do design covers, which I found really beneficial, because it really
Where was that? Was that in InkersCon or on your
that was here.
serious thing? Oh, here on
yeah,
one of the Zoom
yeah,
things.
One of the round tables. So I will post the link for that back into, I'll actually put the link to that into the group, so that everybody can see it, because there is some links that are missing that I know I've posted, but I've had links that have vanished on me. And it's kind of frustrating, but
Okay.
yeah. So she came by and gave us some really good pointers. So yeah, but I do my own covers, and the ones for the paranormal series are going to be a little bit, they're going to fall within the genre expectation, but they're going to be a little bit different, just enough to stand out without actually being glaringly obvious that they're not, that I didn't follow the rules, so to speak. So, hello, Carolyn. How are you tonight?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. We're just chatting goals and schedules and that sort of thing. I am trying to get Carolyn to come in and do a talk for everyone on cereals. I think I might have to bribe her with a few more cookies or treats or something at some point, for anyone who's interested. So Maura, have you got a newsletter, or what are you doing for your promotion, especially if your book is coming out on the 11th?
Yeah, I'm a little behind on that too. I do have a newsletter. I did send out like the I sent out, it's releasing on the 11th. I sent a clip or the first chapter as a sneak peek in there. That's one of my things for tomorrow or the next day is to kind of, sit down and figure out what I'm going to send for my next newsletter. I've started up a readers group on Facebook, which is right now mostly probably friends and family on it, but there's also a couple of people from my newsletter did come and join it.
Mhm.
And a couple of people from the newsletter did write back to me. You asked the questions, what was your favorite? I forget what it was, but your favorite movies or this, that, and they answered me.
Oh, awesome.
So I got at least 3 or 4 out of. The way I got the people onto my newsletter was I did a book sweeps. Are you familiar with that?
Mhm.
Okay, so I did book sweeps and I got about 500 or 600 people come on.
Wow.
About 100 of them actually opened and downloaded the magnet, the reader magnet.
Oh, wow.
And then the others, but then the other 5 didn't. Some of them opened the emails, or as far as you can tell now with this Apple thing, who knows if they really opened it or not. But about a fair chunk of them did not click the link to download the magnet.
Yeah.
So I'm figuring they were probably just the freebie seekers looking to get the free Kindle or whatever they were offering. So I still have them on my list, and I'm going to give them a few more emails to interact. And if they don't, then I'm just going to push them off because they'll start costing me money if they're not going to be,
Yeah. Exactly.
relevant.
Yeah.
But I did get the 100, and then from that 100, I think I got about 4 or 5 people answered me, which I think is a kind of decent percentage from what, the percentage, they're so discouraging when you hear them, but they say, it's like, you get 5% open. That's great. And I'm like, really? That's a great number. But it's like that apparently that's what the norm is.
Yeah.
So
It
that's
is.
what I'm doing. So I have a very small newsletter following this right now. And then I've got, like I said, the reader group, which I post to it at least once a day. And at first it was just kind of fun. So it was like, I started it probably around Thanksgiving, and it was like stuff with holiday related, but just like to get engagement, get people to click and to answer something like, what's your favorite side dish for Thanksgiving, which has nothing to do with my book, but it's something people will answer.
Yeah.
And kind of thing. So now and I kind of did that around the holidays too, with a lot of holiday stuff, but now I'm kind of steering it. I want to try and put more like romantic suspensey kind of gifts and things like that and start talking about that. But
That makes sense. Have you
Yeah.
considered doing newsletter swaps?
I just haven't reached out to anyone yet.
Okay.
So I'm
All right.
gonna, but
Okay.
that is but I do have that as a possibility, because that's a good way to get people who are interested in that genre.
It
at
is.
least
It
to
is.
hear about it.
And you do get exposure to other authors, reader
Yeah.
basis as well. Now, Carolyn has a question about Book Sweep. So what is Book Sweep? So Book Sweep is it is a promotional platform or promotional company where you can sign up for, you sign up for a month and basically, and there's just different packages. In my experience, there's different packages. There was one that they had just before Christmas. It was like $10. And basically what they did is they sent out your book into their followers that read in your genre, and they pull in people to sign up to your newsletter so that they can get the free book. It's
I'm not sure that's
or is that
the-
something?
that's a little bit different. It's the same but different. Book sweeps is I as the author pay them $40 a year or something to be a
Okay.
member, and then
Okay.
then they have the promotion, which is separate. So then, like for the promotions, I can buy a promotion, and as a member, I get 10% off or something like that. And you can set up a profile there, and you can set up put a picture of your book and the blurb and all that kind of thing. But what they do is they send out to their newsletter, they'll put 50 romantic suspense authors, if or however many buy into that promotion, and it's like your first book in the series. And my obligation is to give 2 copies of the book, one to each of they have one grand prize winner who will win all 50 of the books that people from the authors who are entering.
Yeah.
And they will also get a free e-reader. And then the second prize winner just gets the books. And it's up to me whether I want to send them a digital copy of the book or a hard copy of the book. You send them the digital copy. But yeah. So basically they'll get a Kindle loaded with but the theory behind it is like they're only, it's all romantic suspense authors in one shot, and in another one it's all sweet contemporaries, and another one it's all sci-fi and or mystery detectives or whatever. So the theory is that you're going to get people who are really just interested in your genre. But on the flip side, there's a Kindle involved. So, there's going to be people who are just going to sign up to get the Kindle anyway, whether they read that kind of book or not. So,
yes. Yeah.
so that's why, like I said, I got like 100 people who actually downloaded, and I got a bunch of people who didn't download it. So I'm like, they just want the free e-reader, whatever that is. But yes, but it was a way just to get started, kind of thing. So, and I heard about that from David. I always mangle his last name, Cochran.
Oh yes.
The Irish
Irish guy,
I call him Yeti Man. He's the one with the big beard. And all
the
that.
gray hair and the long bushy beard. Yes.
Yes. He was the one. He promoted that kind of heavily for a while, and he said it was really good. And it may have been at the beginning, but now I'm kind of thinking, 100 to 500 people not downloading the magnet.
Well, I've got, and I've talked to different authors about this, and I've even had, Alessandra did a webinar that I attended, and even she said that you are going to find that there's going to be a lot of people that sign up that never touch that will never get your reader magnet. They will never download it because they sign up because you're offering a freebie, but then they never take it, and then they just kind of lurk, and then you have to do the process of cleaning your newsletter and sending out reminders and say, so I mean, you got 20%, which is not bad at all. Not bad at all.
True. It's not. And the fact that a few of them actually answered me about
that's
things.
Huge. That's huge.
That was very encouraging. And then I also keep in mind, aside from my onboarding sequence, I've so far only sent one campaign. So
there you go. Yeah. Once you get into it,
Right. So I'm gonna, hopefully I'll give them, maybe up to 10 more campaigns, and if they don't click anything by then I can start saying, okay.
Now, which platform are you using for your newsletter?
MailerLite.
Okay. Are you subscribed to the MailerLite Newsletter Academy?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I might be. I get a bunch of emails from MailerLite every day, but
if you're not, I would look into it, just because they send out emails with all of this information in it that is absolutely phenomenal. Like they will send out periodically, they send out an email that has like 40 topics for your newsletter to generate, to generate conversion and all this other stuff. It's really, and it's a freebie. So,
I think I am on it then, because I get stuff like that from them. So
it's really good. So I'm going to definitely check out BookSweep, because it's not the one that I was thinking. BookSweep is the one that I was thinking of, is very similar, but it's slightly different. I just quickly looked at the website there, and it is completely, the website is different. The one that I'm thinking of is got more red and white on it than this one. So I'll have to check that one out. Thank you, Mara, for the link, and just to have a look, because I think it's a really good idea. Paid newsletter swaps, these sorts of things, every little thing is such a benefit to getting exposure. And I know a lot of people say, well, exposure isn't going to do anything for you, but the reality of the situation is that psychologically it takes a single person 6 times before something actually connects with them in their brain, that they actually need, that it's something that they have to see it 6 times before it clicks, and they go, oh wait, I've seen this word somewhere before. So trying to create that FOMO experience, that fear of missing out experience with every single interaction is, it's exhausting, but it's a necessary evil. Carolyn is absolutely phenomenal at this, as far as I'm concerned. Like, she does the most amazing graphics. And yes, I'm totally bragging on you, Carolyn. I love you to pieces. Carolyn is my critique partner. She is also a graphic designer. I don't know anything that this woman cannot do. But yeah,
Carolyn, tell me the value of pie.
Value of what?
Pie. It was a joke.
It's really, really long. I don't think we have time.
oh yeah, it's so, well, you know what? Post your book, post the information on your release into the group there, Maura, because I'm sure that there are people in the group that are going to be interested, for one, and for two, you know, we're always willing to share each other's books that are coming out, and that sort of thing.
Okay, thank you. I will. I'll post a link. I did a small little interview on a blog. I'll post the link to that.
Sweet.
And, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it was very easy. There's this woman, her name is, I don't know if you know her name is KL Allen.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and she just has has all these interviews, and they're, you know, you just pick one and you just write it out, and they're all like really fast questions, and then you just put your blurb and your thing. So I did that. So yeah, so I'll share that to the group. So thank you.
Awesome. You're very, very welcome. Yeah, totally. You know, and Kale is absolutely amazing. I've known her for quite some time. She's a sweetheart. And there is a group, Maura, I will actually send you the information, because she's actually the owner, moderator, administrator of a group called Marketing for Romance Authors. They have a group on Facebook, but they also have a group in Google Groups, it's Google Groups. And they have a ton of information on marketing and promoting.
I think I'm on that group, but it's on Groups.io.
Yes, which is part of Google.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Then it's like Maine or something like that.
MRNW, I think it is, or MNRW or something like that. Something like that. Anyways, it's a really good resource. So, did your friends ever show up, Maura?
One of them sent me a text that said, "Oh, I wasn't looking at the computer. I'm working from a printout." But then that's all she said. So I don't know if she's coming back or not.
Okay.
Maine at Marketing for Romance Writers.
Yeah.
MFRI. But yes, I'm already on that. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else any other resources that I know of that are marketing related that would help. Are you doing you're doing MiniCon this month?
Yes.
They actually have a presentation by 4 really, really, really good presenters on launching your book.
Yep, I saw that. Yeah.
That is the one that I'm actually going for. Out of all of them, that is the one that I'm going, because I feel like I am not making the mark. I'm missing the mark when it comes to launching my books. So we'll see. But yeah, I'm definitely going to take that. I will take copious notes, Carolyn, and share with you.
Oh yeah, I'll take all 4 of them, because it all sounded like great classes. So my focus actually for this book, I was planning to do a little bit more. My goal was to, like, maybe between the week of between Christmas and New Year's, like after everybody would get their new Kindles, everything, say, hey, you know, load up your new Kindle with a brand new author or something like that. But I just never got the time to do it. And I've been meaning to try and get at least a couple of ads out this week and up until the 11th, but I have not had the time. It just hasn't worked out. And I don't want to put like I want to put up a decent ad. I don't want to put, and I know it's going to be a big learning curve and everything like that, but I don't want to just throw anything out there either. So I'm trying to get that together. But in the back of my mind, I kind of figure I was going to do just like a mild little bit of marketing on this first book, because it's just the one. And then maybe a little bit more when book 2 goes out. But then I think I was really going to try and hit it with marketing when book 3 is ready to go. So that's still my plan. So even if I don't get the marketing done now that I wanted to, it's not the biggest loss in the world. But I'm still going to try. It's just, like I'm scratching those to-dos off the list every every day. So we'll see how it goes.
Well, and you've got your business plan, so you've got your roadmap, you're set, you're good
That's
to go.
That's right.
Awesome.
Alessandra would be proud of me.
Yes, it takes a lot. I think people don't realize what goes into a business plan, and the one that she's given is so simple. It is so wonderful. It's
Exactly.
just,
Yeah.
it's not like an actual business plan. It's not something you're going to take to the bank. I don't know if you've ever done one of those that you
Oh,
have
I've
to
seen
actually.
them. Look, I shudder.
Yeah, they're definitely not something you sit down and do in an hour at all. Yes, Caroline. Mal's book on launches, Mal Cooper has a book on out on book launches, is really, really good. She breaks it down to the nitty gritty and lays it all out for you and gives you options. And there's worksheets in there and stuff in that book as well. So it's definitely well worth a check out if you haven't seen it already. I think I've actually linked in the group, but it's a really good book to get.
Okay,
and
I'll look for it.
Yeah, it's just go to thewritingwives.com and click on the tab that says books, and it's right there.
Okay. No,
So.
fine. Yeah, I did just watch hers, I'm sorry, her presentations for InkersCon that she did. I just watched those last week. So yeah, so and they were very good. So I've been doing, and I want to pick up the book, Help My Facebook Ads Suck.
That's a good one.
Yeah, because that's the main marketing I'm going to focus on first.
Okay.
I'm not going to even tackle Amazon ads till probably next year, but
so you're not going to take the Amazon ad challenge that starts on the 12th?
I am not. I took it wasn't the first one he did, but I think I took the second or third one that he did, and I loved it. I got it, even though I hadn't even touched it or done anything with it. I got so much out of it. But they suck up time, and I'm not there yet to do them. And a lot of it he does is based on, you need your previous numbers for how your ads were doing, so you can compare if what you're doing now works. And I don't have any of that. But when I get closer to doing Amazon ads, I'll definitely take another one of his challenges, because I did find it helpful. But yeah, like I can't. I don't want to bite off too much,
Yeah, no, definitely. But you have the InkersCon. So if you go into the Amazon ads for beginners that he did, his 1 hour presentation on Inkers, it breaks it down. So it simplifies it so much. And there's none of that. There's none of that that's in the challenge is not in that video. And it is well worth, yeah, the challenge adds a ton of minutia. It adds a lot of layers that you don't necessarily need. Whereas the one from InkersCon just basically breaks it down to show you exactly how to do an ad, how to set it up, and how to double check and how to see if it's working or not, whether or not I'd never run ads. And I did the 1 hour one for Brian. And then I did the 2021 Inkers at Amazon Ads for Beginners, I think it's called. And yeah, totally benefited from it. I've definitely seen sales, and I've seen, yeah. So
good to know.
Yeah, and you've got 3 years. You got 3 years worth of access to it.
Exactly.
So you don't have to rush up and do it right now. You don't want to put too much on your plate like some people.
Yeah, I'm just like my focus is here. When I was thinking about it, like her 3 questions is like, I'm going to do, write and publish. I have to pick a set number, but write and publish basically as many as I can.
Yeah.
And then then work on Facebook ads and building up my newsletter base. And that's my 3 for the year, I think. And then anything after that will be gravy. If I feel like I master Facebook ads by June, then I'll either jump onto TikTok or Amazon ads, one or the other.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
TikTok
to jump in, you're gonna pay per click on Facebook, whereas on Amazon you don't pay until someone clicks. It's a little different from Facebook to Amazon. I also want to say that with Amazon, you have to try it for no less than 3 weeks, because most of the data doesn't come in until after 3 weeks. So do it for a month. Now they have it set up for $5 a day, you will not spend that $5, period. I came up with my own strategy starting as a newbie. I play those tycoon strategy games and I always lowball and build myself up and build my way up. I paid nothing and I got over 1,000 impressions paying nothing. And then it's funny because then I started selling other books that I was not advertising. And all during my 3 weeks. Do not quit at 2 weeks if you don't see anything. My suggestion is to do it for a full month. Do it 4 weeks so that you can get that data.
Yes, yeah. Well,
And then once you get going on it, after 3 months, try the advanced course. But I would give it 3 months before going advanced.
yeah,
Okay.
I would agree with that because I don't think I've been running ads since October, and I haven't even spent $5 yet. And I've seen sales and I'm seeing impressions, daily impressions. And I mean, I've had well over 1,000 impressions. And like I say, I haven't even spent $5. I think I've maybe spent $2.50. Last
Total
month,
for all those months?
all those months, I spent $2.50.
Not $2.50 a day.
No, that's $2.50. Last month's bill, my last month's bill for Amazon ads was 53 cents.
Wow. Okay.
So if you are going to try something, I would go with Amazon over Facebook at this point, just because you don't pay for your impression. And an impression is when your ad shows up on someone's page. Like if someone goes to a book and your ad is on there, you don't pay for that. As long as they don't click on that ad, you don't pay for it. So you can have huge number of impressions. There's nothing wrong with having a huge number of impressions. And as long as they didn't, don't click on it on Amazon, you don't pay for it. So as that ad can be on the page, on that book page, but you're not paying for it because they haven't clicked on it. Whereas with Facebook, you do pay for if the ad shows up on a page, you pay for it.
Okay.
So you're paying for it from the time that you publish it to the time that you take it down. You're paying for it whether or not you get any sales or not.
Right. I've heard that before, that, if you put in that you want to spend $5 a day, Facebook will happily spend that $5.
Yes, they will. And something else that I have learned with Facebook is you have to be very careful too, because sometimes, and I've had this happen, I ran a series of ads, and my ads ran for, I had them set for a 7-day period to run for 7 days. And Facebook, for whatever reason, suspended my ad after the first day. And I didn't know until 3 days after, because I was going in and I was checking, and I was seeing impressions and I was seeing clicks and these sorts of things. But I didn't actually, when I went in and I had got a hold of them, they said, "Oh no, you're free. It's working. It's going up and everything." But they had actually suspended my ad. It wasn't actually playing, and I still wound up paying money. So if you've got a small budget, like if you've got a $5 a day budget for your ads, I would go with Amazon over Facebook to start, just to kind of get your feet wet and really and build up. Because Facebook, you're going to pay, if you got a $5, and they'll even tell you need to have what they tell me. They told me when I was doing my ad campaign on Facebook, they told me I needed a $27 a day budget for my ads, which is outrageous and very, 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 very expensive. But I mean, it's certainly your choice. I'm not telling you not to do Facebook, but it's just something else to be aware of. Facebook, you pay for impressions as well as clicks. Amazon's, you pay for clicks only.
Okay. And what is the whole bidding thing about? I've heard about that, but I've never really looked into it to understand how it works.
So the bidding thing, if my understanding is if someone is looking at your ad and, or, you know, so for example, say if your ad is showing up on a page, say you write contemporary romantic suspense, but for some reason, you know, you've set it up and your book shows up on, say, a historical romance author's book page, right? The likelihood of that impression or that click generating a sale will bring your bid down. You want to have the bids to go down. But yeah, Brian explains it way, way better than I do. But yeah, that's what they do. If you,
Oh yeah, I think Caroline said, yeah, he explains it in the course.
Yeah.
All right, I'll look that up there. So don't worry about it.
yeah. And the other one too is if you have, once you set up your your advertising platform on Amazon, they offer for everyone, they actually offer a free academy, which basically they will walk you through how to optimize, how to set up ads. They will talk about bids, and it is beginner to advanced level stuff. So if
Okay.
you've never done it before, they will walk you through each step of the way, and it's really, really, really easy and really good. And they always give you handouts too. So that's something else to consider.
Give you what?
They give you a handout, like they'll send you a PDF.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah. I think Carolyn, you're absolutely right. If you have access to that 1 hour video that Brian did, watch that before you do the 5-day challenge. Definitely, because it really simplifies everything. It bare bones it.
All right. Well, maybe I will do the challenge now. We'll see.
I enjoy it. I enjoy the challenge, but then again, I tend to get into that cycle where I want to learn everything that I possibly can. So it's like,
Yeah.
give me more knowledge. It's probably why we're doing the TikTok challenge as well as the 5-day challenge.
Yeah, I signed up for that TikTok thing.
Yeah.
The Mark Dawson one.
Yeah. Which is, there's lots of really good information in it so far that I've in the group, like I've been asking questions and I've been getting responses and stuff. So it's really helpful. The Inkers Con video, I'm actually going to watch that tonight and see, because I think that's going to be really helpful as well to give me a little bit more insight into how to use my book talker platform. Because I don't do much on Instagram. It's not really my jam. I spend more time in groups like Serious Writers Haven and Mums Who Write, and you know, those sorts of things that I do in my own readers group, which is really, really bad. I know, but that's just the way I do it on Facebook. It's just that. But yeah, so yeah, that's. Katie, did you have anything you wanted to chat about? Any questions, concerns, updates? I think we all need updates.
Same.
Yeah, I need
I-
ideas for TikTok videos.
If I can
That's
jump in real quick,
Yeah.
was tonight about keywords?
No.
Okay, what was tonight's thing?
Tonight was goals and chit chatty and update on what we were going to be doing for the with the roundtables.
Okay, really quick, before we jump into TikTok, because I need answers too. I just wanted to let everyone know, a warning, authors are, yes, a lot of authors are getting banned from Amazon. They are cracking down on misuse of keywords, blurbs, and categories. You can no longer put your book, if it's not absolutely about gardening, if it has a picture of a flower on the cover, does not make it about gardening, you cannot put it in that category. They will ban you. They are locking down because people are gaining the system to rise in rankings, make more money, and so on and so forth. So yes, please watch your keywords, your blurbs, and in your blurbs and keywords, you cannot put other authors in there anymore. They will ban you for that now. That's a new thing. So don't do that. Be very, very careful. Just a warning. Okay, now TikTok.
Well, actually, I thought that was the rule all along. You weren't supposed to put other authors' names in there.
I've seen the writing girls do it, the writing gals, and they're like, oh, we'll say it's like so, or was it the writing gals? It might have been someone else. I'm sorry if it wasn't them. say, well, oh, they do comparisons of book types. I don't know if that's allowed anymore, but
No, it's
I
not.
think in a
Ah.
lot of recent webinars, they're like, oh, we'll compare it. And in your keywords, put the other author's name in there. I watched something recently, a class or something, where they suggested doing that. It's like, that doesn't sound right. But so I don't know. All I know
Well,
is
I've
that-
always heard that putting any other author's name in a keyword was verboten, that from the get-go. They never wanted you to do that. But I think it was fairly common practice that at the end of their blurbs, people would say, oh, if you like, like Mark Dawson would say, if you like, if you're a fan of Lee Childs, then you'll like this book. I know
Yeah.
that was fairly
Yeah.
common practice for everybody to do.
Yeah, it
And I
was.
kind of hope they're not going to crack down on that, because I mean, that's kind of sensible. You want to tell people, if you like this, you might like this.
No, they are cracking
you can't do
down.
that from
They
what
are
I know.
cracking down on that. I actually had a conversation with Amazon today because I am putting out some low content journals, author Bibles, those sorts of things. And I couldn't find what I was looking for in the categories, and with everything with people getting suspended and stuff. So I got a hold of Amazon today, and I reached out to them and I said, well, okay, well, can you explain this, and this? And yeah, they are going to be cracking down. So if it's not in the right category, then yeah, you are at risk of being suspended. And their suspension is generally going to be you're going to lose your account, is what it boils down to. So so when you're looking at your blurbs, it's really important not to put a comparison in the blurbs, in your keywords, in your trigger words, anything along those lines. Really trying to avoid that. I haven't heard anything about editorial reviews making comparisons yet, because really an editorial review is someone else's it's a review that is posted, right? So, but you do have some control over those because you're the one that usually uploads them. So it's really good idea not to do it. Comparison marketing is really hot, but unfortunately, it's like, you're writing the shirt tails of someone else who's, it would be, Carolyn saying, her book Second Chances is like J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter's. It's not, but as soon as you make that comparison, people automatically annulled it. And you can get away with it other places. This is just Amazon. You can get away with it in other places. I do know that in other places, Kobo, for example, has not cracked down on any authors that are using comparison marketing in their blurbs yet. But Amazon definitely is. And unfortunately, Amazon is about 85% of the North American market. So if they're closing that door, I can guarantee you that the other ones are probably going to follow suit fairly quickly. So I'm not sure why they're not allowing comparison marketing any longer, but I think it's because some authors who have made money may have complained because they don't want their name associated with unknown or something along those lines. And I do know that there's been a couple of authors that have had their books pulled because of complaints that their book isn't up to snuff, that it's not edited properly, whatever. So Amazon is really, really getting they're getting very anal about how they're doing things, which I understand. They want quality control. They want to make sure that it's a level playing field, but they're taking away an avenue of marketing that indie authors have been using for a very long time, and it's really going to impact sales. And when you have authors that are actually, getting their accounts suspended, they're being kicked off, closed
Patricia?
out, and all that.
Patricia,
Yes.
that's because a lot of people are going in and they're saying it's like this and this, just like so-and-so's.
Yeah.
You go there and it's nothing like it. They are lying. They are purposefully lying to get more readers and game the system. They are
Well, yeah.
nothing. This is all
Yeah, see,
about
and that would make sense to
misinformation,
stop that.
misguiding, mistreatment. It is those jerks that are ruining it for everyone else. And Amazon is like, no, we're going to level the playing field. We're just going to stop all this altogether because
Yeah.
there are way too many scammers. And there are covers. They're starting to go after quality now. I think it may just be a rumor where covers, if your cover looks different than what's inside the book, goodbye. Because you just can't lie to the readers.
Yes.
What do you mean by the cover is different?
So if your cover, for example, now you write contemporary romantic suspense. Your cover, by the look of it, your cover has, I'm going to assume, some spicy, sexy scenes in it. So that's what I'm judging your book by, based on your cover. Now, if I buy your book and I open that book and I read through it and there's zilch sex scenes, your cover has been misleading. Has misled me to think that I'm going to get, I'm going to get that sort of, spicy read, when in reality it's more of a sweet style romance as opposed to an adultish romance. So that's what they mean by lying to, or your cover not representing the content of the book, which.
Yeah, they're going to have a hell of a time policing that. I mean, because who's going to decide what, I mean, if they're going to base it on heat level, who's going to decide? I mean, I do have sex scenes in my book, but I know they're not as hot and spicy as I've seen in some other books. And who's just, I mean, there'd be no way to predict your covers. There'd be no way to do it, because what you may find sweet is different from what I may find sweet. What you may think is hot and spicy, somebody else might think is mild. How are they going to police that?
Yeah, well, and that's when it comes down to your complaints and reports against the books, right? So if you have someone who buys your book and there is you have a sex scene in there that maybe isn't as graphic as they think it should be, and they lay a complaint, there you go, you've got a complaint, because now they're saying that your cover misled them to didn't represent what the book was actually about. Now, as Carolyn has said, it could just be a rumor, but we have been seeing authors that are having their accounts suspended. We are seeing authors who are having their books pulled. I know an author right now who's had one book pulled because and Amazon refuses to let her put it back up because of quality control issues. Basically, someone sent in a complaint that said it wasn't edited properly. And because of that, she, without a warning, without anything, they unpublished her book and took it down. And until she meets quality standards and proves that she's had it professionally edited, that she can't do anything with it. So she's now looking at going wide as opposed to staying on Amazon only. I think this is just going to be this is another hurdle that we're going to have to deal with in the vastness of the industry. Does it suck? Yeah, big time, because it's going to impact all of us in some fashion. Because it's going to affect not only our sales, but it's also going to affect reviews, all of that. Well, and that's the thing. Amazon does send out emails. I get an email every time I upload a book. Every time that I make a change in pricing of a book, I get an email from Amazon. It falls to the author to follow through and maintain contact with that email to be sure that there is no issues. And fully, I support that. If you can't be bothered to check your email for your publishing at least once a day to see if there's any issues, then it kind of lends the question of just how much how much time are you going to invest in your career, in your reputation as an author.
Yeah,
like
it's just the flip side of that though is that you get people who complain about editing when it's really not an editing issue. I mean, you guys, I'm sure you guys are all out there in the group, so you've seen these come up. It's like people will say this book was poorly edited, or this person can't write because they use vernacular. And and they use they drop the G at the end of somebody for a who speaks with a southern accent or something like that, and they get hit with these complaints when they're like, no, that was how it was intended to be written. And it's like, and I understand that Amazon does not give a crap about anybody but Amazon. So it's just kind of frustrating to the sense it's like, but you're kind of cutting off your nose to spite your face, because this is a book that could be a very popular book. And if you're going to take, why are you taking the word of some random customer as, as professional in a sense, if you know what I mean? Why
exactly.
I think that the frustrating part, what I'm trying to say is that everyone feels is that Amazon does not investigate. They just take they take somebody's word and the author's word is no good. And it's like, that's not fair. But that's number 5082 of the reasons that Amazon is not fair about a lot of things. But
yes, yeah,
anyway.
it is. Carolyn knows this firsthand. Her and I've had this conversation more than once. I write deep point of view. Carolyn writes deep point of view. We go like super, super deep. Like, I mean, when you're reading one of my books, you know exactly what the character knows. So if the character doesn't know who is in political power, you're not going to know. As the reader, you're not going to know who is in political power, for example, or, if the character doesn't know, a landmark's name, you're not going to know that. And so because of that, I've actually had people that have said, this isn't, you didn't build your world enough, you didn't do this. I know that there's been, I'm sure we've all had that. And I think it's a huge problem because different genres, different tropes have different requirements. If you're reading I'm going to say sweet romance because that's the one that Carolyn and I have kind of talked about the most. But with sweet romance, you're more or less spoon-fed the story, as opposed to a romantic suspense where you, as the reader, you kind of have to put together the clues and try and figure it out as you're reading about the romance. And you're expected to participate in the story. And when you have someone who reads one or the other or doesn't read one or the other, it really does kind of lend itself to confusion and complaints. I've heard people say, oh, well, your books are exhausting to read. Well, why are they exhausting to read? Carolyn's books, you're all good. Carolyn, I'm sorry, but I'm going to totally throw you under the bus here. Your Second Chance book was absolutely fantastic. This is a romantic suspense set at Christmas time. It was in our Christmas anthology, Have a Merry Romantic Christmas. And it's a sweet romance. There's no hanky panky, it's about the intimacy and the connection and the dead body in the lake. But she was told and I remember her talking about it, was that it was too angsty for that genre. And I'm like, angst? What angst? There's no. So I think the reader themselves do kind of set themselves up a little bit to not understand. It was too sweet and fluffy. And it is, I love that book. I love it. I want to play in that world. Eventually I'm going to, when I can write sweet and fluffy, not right now. But that is enough. Honestly, that is enough to have your account suspended at Amazon right now. And you know, or have the book pulled at least. And, you know, if your book is on pre-order, and that book is pulled, every single you lose all your pre-orders. So I'm not sure what to do about the situation, because it's a very fine line and it's a tightrope. And I reached out to Amazon a couple of times now. I'm waiting to hear back. I've emailed them again and to see, because it is a cause for concern. It's a huge cause for concern, especially if it impacts our ability to make a living at what we're doing. And that's what it's doing. So it's a very good indication, or a very good indicator that authors should be looking at going wide as opposed to just relying on Amazon. Kobo has a program that is very similar to KU. You can actually put your book in their Kobo, I think it's Kobo Select is what it's called. And it's, yes, going wide from the start is a good idea. It's just like KU. People can sign up, become a member, and then they can read the book for free, you know, because they've got their membership. So I don't know. Carolyn, you're doing a lot of serials, so you're in Vella. What do you think that this is going to do to you, to you as an author on Vella?
Oh, with the whole keyword and everything and blurbs. Okay, with serials, we get teeny tiny amount of characters we get to use to sell you our stories. Now, serials are not like blurbs; they're a little different. If you get onto like webtoons or webcomics or Royal Roads or even Wattpad, they're formulated just a smidge different to try and capture that certain type of reader in. So you only have a few sentences really to get everything in. With serials, we don't have Author Central. They will not connect Vella to it. So I've done this. I've tagged my own author names. So like you can find all of MC Levitt, you click on it and it'll take you to a page with 3 of my serials. That is the only way, besides typing in my name, to find both my books and serials. They've made it stupid complicated and hard on readers. I don't think they'll apply that to serials. You just can't tag other author names. For categories, they're really simplistic. You have, I think, like romance, erotica. There is no sweet romance. There's no clean and wholesome. It's just romance, erotica. There's fantasy, there's sci-fi fantasy, there's paranormal. It's really, you do not get all of the category options. It's totally different than regular Amazon, KDP, Author Central, all that stuff, just totally, completely different. And I think they've actually been basing the new changes from Vella, actually. A lot of people, their work won't publish. Their work won't publish and will get flagged because of keywords. And this has been happening a lot in the past 2 months. A lot of people are really upset because there are certain keywords you cannot do. Taboo things that a lot of people were using keywords as trigger warnings. And it turned out that those were bad. Someone had The Last Survivor in their keywords. And I don't know if it was they're the last ones or last survivor or lone survivor. They got flagged over the dumbest thing. And their book, there's even if you title in your episode title, because that's another way of marketing. A lot of serial readers will read your titles to see if they'll be interested in reading your story or not. Somebody, not just somebody, a lot of somebody's, your titles can get flagged. Like I got really freaked out because my serials, my episodes generally publish within 2 hours, but I had First Blood in Tangled Fates is one of my titles. And it took 3 days. And I immediately was like, do I get a warning? Do I need to change it? Just tell me what I need to do because it hasn't gone through. You guys are generally really quick with me and I really appreciate it. Also, I'll tell you a secret right now. If you're a regular author contacting Amazon, they're rarely vague and they rarely help you right away. But if you're a publisher with an LLC, they'll get right back to you.
Mm-hmm.
So like they'll get back to me within, 6 to 12 hours, but then regular authors, they'll have them waiting for a week or two. Not saying it's okay. They just tend to go for people who have a business license.
Oh, yeah. They're into white chocolate chips.
Oh, those are good. I'll have some white chocolate chips, please.
It's got cookies in them.
Oh,
So I think that with Amazon is that they're noticing while doing Vela that they have some issues in regular KDP, and that's where the new changes are stemming from, because they're like, oh no, this person figured out how to ranks by using keywords and we can't do that keyword. We've got children even looking through this stuff, so we got to do this and this and this. And I'm telling you, if you write erotica, it's I feel so bad for people who publish erotica on Vela because it is a struggle. I read complaints all the time. One of my friends posts on there, and they'll publish 1, 2, hold off on 3 because of the title, and go ahead and publish 4, 5, and 6 that are scheduled. Meanwhile, 3 is in limbo. And that's really hard when your story is linear, because you need 3 for 4, 5, and 6 to make sense. So it's super frustrating for a lot of authors. But again, I think Vela may have sparked possibly, and I could totally be way wrong, because they just might be like, oh, people are gaming the system. But I think that they're realizing this is how people are gaming the system. Let's stop it.
I think you're right. I think it's going to be, I think they unwittingly opened a can of worms that they have been kind of sort of feeding for a very long time, because this is not a new thing. These are not new things that we have been, that suddenly popped up like yesterday. These are things that have been going on for years. My hope is, while they're doing all of this, that they are actually going to crack down on these people who are pirating other authors' books and claiming that they're theirs, and then closing out the real author's account and stuff like that. That's my hope, that while they're doing all of this, that they're gonna look at that. But yeah, if you're gonna go wide, going wide is fantastic. I love going wide, because you know what, I get sales from the UK, I get sales from Germany, Australia. I've had sales from India on different platforms. Because I'm Canadian, there are certain platforms that I cannot access without jumping through hoops. Apple is one of them. I would love to get on Apple. The problem is that to go on Apple myself, I have to have a GST number, which is a tax number here in Canada. To get it, I have to have a business of my own that is making a minimum of 20 grand a year. I'm not making 20 grand a year in all my books yet. Soon, but not yet. So I have to go through the back door, which is using a site like Draft2Digital. Now, I know that there has been some discussion about the pros and cons of it. For me personally, I'm seeing sales there through Draft2Digital, and I'm seeing really good returns on royalties. I'm seeing 70% of my royalty. I'm getting 70. I'm getting the same amount from Draft2Digital as I do from Amazon. Let's put it that way. But everyone has to do their own different. You're Canadian, the rules kind of shift, especially with Apple, because if you're Canadian, you have to have that GST number before you can put your books up on Apple. It's the way that they do business. There is no way around it. You can upload a book, but the problem is that it's going to sit there and just do nothing. They will not publish it without that GST number. And the GST number is a pain in the pin feathers to get, because you have to go through Revenue Canada and you have to do a whole application. And unless you're Canadian, you don't understand the struggle. But it is incredibly frustrating. So you have to look at other options. But if you're going directly through like Kobo, you're going through Barnes and Noble or Nook, which is the same thing. You're going through Google Play. You're going through all of these, you're going directly through the distributors, then yeah, you're going to make more money. And there are instances of authors that are making more money off of Apple, off of Google Play, off of Kobo, off of Barnes and Noble than they are on Amazon, because that's where they're directing people. So I don't know if it's one of those, I don't know if it's one of those catch-22s. I don't know, but I do know it's something that you need to kind of be aware of when you're looking at it. I'm not surprised that BNN won't approve your vendor account. How long have you been trying to get your vendor account set up, Maura?
It's October.
When was the last time you asked them about it?
Probably before Christmas or just after. Now here's the story though. Let me explain.
Okay.
I went in there and I signed everything up, and my scanner is broken. I cannot scan anything, and you have to fill out this. I'm in the States, and you have to fill out a W-9 form for tax purposes. So they say right on their website, they're like, either scan it once you fill it out and email it to us, or send it to us electronically, or mail it to this address. So I mailed it to that address, and I waited, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks, and I didn't see any, they hadn't approved it. And so I sent it an email to customer support, and they're like, oh, they don't have it. They said they never got it. So I'm like, okay, this can happen. And so I mailed it again. And they turn around, oh no, we don't have it. We don't have it. And they keep saying, scan it. And I've explained it to them a dozen times. I do not have access to a scanner. I cannot scan it. And I was like, can I fax it to somebody? Can I, give me somebody's name that I can send it to their attention and make sure no, what color envelope did you send it in? And I'm like, it's a business letter. It's just a white envelope and everything. Well, to whose attention did you send it? And blah, blah, blah. And they just keep asking me the same questions over and over and over again. And then finally the one said, well, why don't you send it certified? So in other words, I have to spend, whatever it costs. I think it's like $15 now to certify a letter or something like that. So I have to spend, I think it might be something like that. And it's like, but either way, it's like, I have to pay extra postage money to make sure somebody signs for it because you're too lazy to go look in your mailroom. And it's like, so I'm just not, I don't expect, especially right now, I don't expect that I'm going to be making a ton of sales on the Barnes and Noble site. I mean, it's my first book. I'm a wide author, and it's going to take a while to get traction. And so I'm just going to go through D2D with them. That's one of my things to do tomorrow, is get it up there on direct to digital. And if in the long run I start seeing that I'm getting big sales on Barnes and Noble through them, then I'll take it off direct to digital and get it onto Barnes and Noble, someday or another. For that. But I mean, at this point, I'm like, that they put such a bad taste in my mouth with, their complete unprofessionalism with the whole thing.
Yes. Barnes and Noble is an experience in and of itself.
Yeah. And I just can't believe, that they keep saying that they keep blaming COVID is the other thing, because it's like, well, people aren't in the office because of COVID. And so the last email that I sent to them, I said, I'm sorry, COVID has been here for 2 years now. I find it hard to believe that you haven't found a way to forward your mail to the proper person in those 2 years.
Yeah.
And so,
it's a challenge.
Yeah.
The only other one that you could other way that you could do it, honestly, is take a picture with your phone, snap a picture with your phone, and then email it that way.
Yeah, I might try that. I actually had the world's worst cell phone up until Christmas Day. My husband got me a phone for Christmas. So I now do have a phone that works with actual technology. So I might do something like that and see if they take it. And I think one of my friends mentioned that if I go to the federal government site here, that I could probably get a form there that I can key in electronically versus the one from the one that they had on their site on Barnes and Noble. It just, there was no way to transfer it after I filled it out to transfer it to an email. It was just a very poor setup. So as I
Yeah.
said, they put a bad taste in my mouth, and I'm like, you know,
Yes, the Barnes and Noble is,
Yeah.
yeah.
I
They
don't know
are,
if any of you are on the Wide for the Win Facebook group.
yes,
People have been coming back that they can't get Barnes and Noble to approve their accounts, and I think these are people who have actually sent it to them digitally. But apparently, there's been a lot of problems with Barnes and Noble. So,
Yeah,
and somebody
it,
else was posting that they think Barnes and Noble is circling the drain as it is. So I don't, you know,
it's
don't know if
hard to
that's true.
say. I know with Nook, it didn't take it, I think, well, mine was set up, I did mine around Easter last year, and they said 7 business days. I gave them 14. I gave them 7, then I got a hold of them and said, hey, what's going on? And then I didn't hear back. And then I gave them 14 days, and then I got a hold of them again. Like a total, like they had waited 7 days, got a hold of them, waited another 7 days, sent in an email. I said, hey, you know, what's going on here? Why are they spinning wheels? And that's when they approved it within 24 hours when I did that. But Barnes and Noble is one of those ones. I think honestly, there's just not enough. They don't have enough staff to maintain their everything. They're relying on a handful of staff, and that's about it. So, sorry. Yeah. So, you know, I think that's something to consider. And if you're doing draft to digital, something that you know, sign up for the access to the libraries. This is 5 different library platforms. These platforms, each one does it differently. But if a library through one of those platforms buys your book, you get paid. Now, some of them pay you once, they pay you for the price of the book. Others, they pay you like 38 cents every time that book is checked out of their library. So it's really important to actually check on that. When it comes to, if you're dealing with, if you're marking the on draft digital and you're marking it off for Apple, do not, when you do your back copy, your back matter, and you put a list of all of your books in there, don't put links in, because if you do, Apple will kick it back. They do not want links to anything other than themselves in any of their books. So it will literally sit there in purgatory until the cows come home.
Is that through D2D or
That's-
direct through Apple?
That, well, either direct through Apple or through D2D.
Okay, 'cause
Apple
I'm
does-
I'm going direct to everyone,
Okay, so yeah,
except for
Apple
like
doesn't
I'm going
want
Amazon,
Yeah.
Apple. Well, I was going to do Barnes and Noble,
do Kobo.
Kobo. Yeah, I went
yeah.
direct to Kobo,
Yeah.
and what was the other one? Anyway,
Yeah,
and the only reason I've decided to do Barnes and Noble through D2D is just because they won't approve my account. So that's it. But now I'm using a books to read link in the back of all my books.
that's a universal link that Draft to Digital uses anyways. But just so you are aware, I know I've got 2 books right now that I am fighting to get into Apple, because they said that I've had to actually take them, pull them out of Apple, redo the back matter and resubmit, so that, and now it's back in review. But yeah, it's a bit of a pain in the pin feathers. But if you're going directly through,
I uploaded my latest draft just, I think it was just yesterday, to Apple. Where's my worksheet here? Apple. On the 3rd, I uploaded the ebook file, and it's got the universal link. They didn't kick it back.
so that the universal link may be your saving grace.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have the universal links in the back of my book.
Yeah.
But the other one, I just took the links out, and it's in review, and it'll go through no problem. But it just something that I've experienced with Draft to Digital. I mean, there's other options too. Like, I mean, you can use Smashwords. Smashwords has its own individual platform that goes everywhere and anywhere. There's tons, but Smashwords is very, very difficult with their formatting. They have a formatting manual that I believe is like 30 pages long. I don't think it's quite that long, but it's its own novella, really. And if you don't follow it to a T, your book is, it just sits there and spins its wheel, because they never do anything with it. They won't help you fix it or anything like that. But yeah, I think, excuse me, I think going wide is probably the best bet, because Amazon is becoming such a difficult platform to deal with. And I've even noticed, and the other thing with Amazon too is their returns policy. I do not agree with their returns policy. Because you can return an ebook within 7 days after you've purchased it. You can return that ebook to Amazon. There isn't any other platform out there that will allow you to do. Yeah, it does suck. It really does suck, because it's in, you know, what if someone, I get that maybe you bought the wrong book, but okay, whatever, you bought the wrong book, why would you return it, you know? So I think that it lends itself to piracy and other stuff like that, which is kind of sad, to say the least. But it is what it is. Excuse me. It's very challenging. The industry right now, the platforms that we have, the options that we have, is very, very challenging, because it's really hard to know where to go, especially if you're dealing with Amazon from a different country. Like dealing with Amazon from Canada is absolutely ridiculous. I know those readers who proclaim their return books when they are done need to be shot. It's not a library, people. It's not a library. You want a library, go to your library and borrow the book. Sorry, but a cookie went down the wrong way. Have you brought me chocolate chips and cookie bites? But yeah, I think that there's some changes that need to be made. There's definitely some cause for some concern, yeah, right now in the industry. So hopefully we can all weather this bump in the road. But I'm definitely going to do the other. Yes, let's move on to TikTok, because we have 20 minutes left. So let's move on to TikTok. I am not an expert on TikTok in any stretch of the imagination, but one thing that I have learned is whatever you're posting on TikTok. So if you have a Bookstagram account and you are going to use TikTok to promote your books, you want to focus your posts on your books. You want to interact with other people who are bookstagrammers or books influencers on TikTok to ensure that your algorithm is populated only by those influencers and those who are in your in a similar or in your genre. So if, for example, if you are creating a TikTok account, you know, and you start off with posting a video of you chit-chatting about your books, that's great. If you post a video about your cats, you're going to get lots and lots of views, because cats are really popular on TikTok. But you're not really going to, you don't really want to foster that growth with the pets. Unless, of course, you know, you're showing them walking across your computer, and then, hey, it does sound a lot like Instagram in regards to hashtags. I posted in the TikTok challenge, I asked about that, and there's a couple of websites that are really, really good for hashtags, finding out hashtags and what that are specific to TikTok. I will pop them here into, there's one. And you want to focus some on your hashtags. You don't get as many as you do with Instagram. I think you get like 5 or 6. So you want to focus on ones that are directly related to what you're trying to foster. So if you're trying to foster yourself as an author on TikTok, you're going to use hashtags like book talker, you're going to, author of TikToker, or things like that, where you're going to combine what your platform is with TikTok. And I will definitely try and get some more information. Like I said, I am by no means an expert on TikTok at this point. I'm still learning. But what I have been finding is with the videos that I have been I'm just opening. So I broke my own rule. I posted pictures of my cat, stoned out of her tree on catnip. I posted pictures of my book covers. I've posted pictures of me with my tiny editor, or it's a tiny editor who's laying down there sleeping on. But I usually have one of my dogs on my lap when I'm writing. And so the ones that I'm actually seeing the most interaction on aren't the ones that are just specifically focused on my books. They're actually the ones with the animals in them, which is understandable. And that's what you're going to get. Oh, look at that. I got to do it. So the video that I did that has my cat on catnip, I posted that I think that was yesterday, already has over 200 views. So, and the one that I just did just before our meeting has 16 views on it. And I posted pictures of weather. So, because I was under the impression that when you're doing it, you want to show something that makes you personable, something that people can connect you to. And honestly, that's not what I'm learning in the TikTok challenge. What I'm learning is, and from other authors that are on there, is stick to your books, stick to what you write. So if you write dark suspense, you want to post videos on that. You want to post pictures of maybe you're doing the writing. Keep it super focused. Oh, no, the video that was on today for the challenge, with that little short 5-minute video, that was the only video for today. The next one is tomorrow. But if you actually go into the Facebook challenge group, there's tons of people that have been asking questions, and there's lots of people that are answering questions and talking about what's working for them, what's not working for them. And one of the things that's coming up is that when you are posting to TikTok, you want to be focused on what you're trying to get across. And it's the same with your algorithm. So if you're following people that are all readers, influencers that do book recommendations and reviews, those sorts of things, if that's who you are following, that's who you need to be interacting with to keep your algorithm clean of all of the political or anything. So if you're, so it's called, the group is, hang on a second here, Mark, I'm going to grab the link for you, the group for you, so that you can see it. So my question for you then is, Caroline, is, because you are doing a much broader range of services and sales. You're not just selling books, but covers and graphic art and all these other things. So because you are selling so much, That's a tricky one. My gut says you might need more than one account, but at the same time, having two accounts, it's really almost impossible to manage, especially with TikTok. So that would be a really good question to ask in the group. Because you want to, hold on a second here. Let's see. Let me see here. I'm just gonna grab I'm just trying to grab the link here. There we go. I don't want to give everybody a dirty link. Exactly. Well, and that's the other thing too, is when you set up your TikTok account, don't set it up as a private account. Set it up as a business account, because with a business account, you have more leeway. There's certain perks that come with having the business account that you're not going to get, that you're going to get with a personal account. This is why you need a PA, Carolyn. This is why you need a PA. You're not falling behind. This is a learning curve. You're not you just joined TikTok. It's not like you. So I think talking to Lola and Trisha is going to give you a really good idea of exactly what you need, because both of them are PAs, and I think honestly, if you have it, you can ask what you need and see and get some and get some. I'm so sorry, Carolyn. I wish I could help more. I don't know how to help you more than what you know what? Well, what is one area right now, one area where you feel that you are, you have a bit more control, you're more comfortable in? Figure out which area that is and see if there's a way that you can streamline it. Oh, okay. Well, that doesn't work. I'm sorry, that doesn't help you by telling you to streamline it when you I think that if you can get into that group that link that I just shared into that group, if you can get into that group, ask your question, Carolyn, because I think that if you are connecting to authors and you're connecting to influencers and you're posting consistently about your designs, your covers, all of these things, all of these bits and pieces that you are doing, I think that is going to work in your favor, because it's still being consistent on what you are posting. It's not like you're posting, you're talking about a cover one day and then the next day you're posting pictures of the white sandy beach on the in Mexico. So I think as long as you're consistent, you're going to have a little bit more success. But get into that group and ask your question, because at this point, I don't want to give you information that I don't know is going to work for you. I know it's a good idea. Try everything and see what works for you. What doesn't work, trim it out. But yeah, when you're doing it as a business and you're doing it with such a huge platform, because your platform is multifaceted, yeah, I don't know. I don't recommend you have another account for the rest of it. I think you just need to figure out how to post consistently with what you have. Face videos are really, really good so far from what I'm seeing, going through and looking at different authors, seeing how many followers they've got, what they're posting. But I think, honestly, it's kind of going to come down to for every 3 posts or every 4 posts, maybe do 2 of your books, 1 and 2 with your face, and then kind of interchange them. Yes, that is a girl. You're supposed to be resting. Why are you? Why? Do not make me get out the wet noodle. I will get it out. You were supposed to be resting.
Oh no, not the wet noodle.
But yeah, I think And from what Jane was saying this afternoon in the video for the challenge, she said keep your videos shorter. I believe she said 15 seconds at this point is all you need to start attracting followers. All you need, 15 seconds. You don't need to worry about a minute. You don't need to worry about 3 minutes or anything along those lines. 15 seconds is all you need. Okay, so when it comes to making videos, if you don't have a cell phone, you can actually make your videos on your desktop. If you're doing them for your, now, for example, if you're going to do any with your face, Carolyn, Zoom is perfect for this. So if you're doing it from your desktop or your computer, then all you need to do is create, and you can actually do this in PowerPoint. You can do it in PowerPoint. You can set up your little, you know, and you can, there is a way to do it through PowerPoint. I don't know what it is. There is a program that you can use that is really good for short little 15-second videos, and that is called Kazawa. And it is a platform. It is free. If you're only doing 15-second videos, it's free. Yes, there is a watermark on, there's a little brand on it, but it is what it is. There is another program called DaVinci Resolve, which is it is a Hollywood level editing software. There's a bit of a learning curve, but it is absolutely phenomenal for doing videos. And basically all you need to do is put in your little slides and then put it into motion, and then upload directly from your desktop, your laptop, whatever computer it is that you're uploading to. The only thing is you're not going to be able to do anything with like the lives or anything with like the filters, that sort of thing that you have on that you can use with the cell phone. So if you're uploading from your computer, what you upload is what is going to be up there. So you want to make sure that everything is there and you've got all your hashtags in place and your description and so on and so forth. So you can do it that way. Do you have, if you have a like a desktop camera or one of those, there's a little, I'm using it at the moment, but it's a little, it's just a little, they're called Zoom cameras, and they're just a little computer, the little camera that sits on top of the tripod or on top of your computer, and it's there for meetings or whatever. You can get them, they're not super expensive. That way, if you wanted to do your face images, then that's fine. But again, you're just doing it from your computer. Kazawa is a good option. PowerPoint is a good option. Those are all really good options to doing it. See, and that's the other thing is you can also use Zoom and just do why are you coming out pixelated and using, I'm recording my screen and using the iPad and also using Zoom, but I can't figure out why my videos are coming pixelated. What are they downloading? Well, like what speed are they downloading at? Like, is it are they hang on a second here. Have you uploaded any?
Sorry, yes, I was just pulling up Filmforth. I've uploaded 2, one of which I created on Filmforth. So I don't understand why the newest versions are coming out so pixelated.
All right. Okay, so I'm looking on my phone right now. I'm paying attention, but I'm just checking. I'm looking on here at your images, at your video for Goddess's Blessing. It's clear as a bell on my phone. So I'm not sure. And then if I go over to the other one,
I'm cursed. I'm cursed.
Your other one, that one is clear too. Like this one, that one there, that one's clear too.
I use DP Animator and then Film Force, and I don't understand. But my most recent ones, I got frustrated. I was I wanted to add more stuff to my YouTube channel, my process. So I was gonna show my process of how to make quick and simple little GIF ads that are like 12, 13 seconds. So I recorded everything on Zoom. I sped it up in Film Force, and everything is pixelated.
I wonder if it's your screen. Could you upload it onto, can you upload it and then like upload it to your YouTube, make it unlisted and send me the link and I'll check it on my computer and on my phone. And if it looks good, I'll tell you. If it's pixelated, I'll tell you.
Oh gosh, here's another video. That one was fun. I can try later if I can remember.
Yeah, try later. Not
Doing
a problem.
things in the background, not at all. I didn't post 8 posts. No. I'm such a snot.
Yeah, you're all good. I think it's TikTok is going to be a topic that we're going to have to come back to, because I want to get a little bit more information, a little bit more familiarity with it before I start giving an in-depth instruction. But I think if you're not part of the challenge, then, you know, I would, if you're not part of the challenge that, you know, that's going on right now, then by all means, you know, check out the group, because as far as I know, it's open. There's been people that have been able to search it and find it and join it without being told where it is. And see, because there's some really good information in there. For those of us who actually have access to InkersCon from 2021, there is a presentation in there, an hour and some odd minutes presentation specifically on TikTok by 4 different authors, moderated by Alessandra herself, that goes into a lot of detail on how they built their platforms on TikTok. It's actually on my list to be watched, because I think it's going to be there's a lot of information in there that is going to be very beneficial. So if you don't have access to the 2021 videos, let me know, and I will be happy to watch it and take copious amounts of notes and share the notes. I will not share the content, but I will share the notes. Yes, there's so many classes, so little time. And I am going to, I'm actually looking at, I'm looking at my list of topics to cover. We have, like I said, we have this month, we have 2 different PAs that are going to be coming in to talk about what they do, what their industry is like, you know, what they offer, their price range, all of those things. This is going to be open discussion. They are going to be available for questions from everyone who is attending. So that's a really good way to find out some information. Next month, we do have the guys from Plotter that are going to be coming by. We're just trying to finalize the date, which is really, really good. And I'm actually looking at another class or another roundtable to put together on finding, you know, basically it's going to be talking about how to find out whether or not your idea, your concept is actually worth writing, and if it's just one that you just don't want to let go, how you can write it so that it meets the needs of the market. So that's what we've got going on. I am going to be doing one on keywords as well. I have so many ideas, so much information to pass up. But for right now, we're going to go to bi-weekly. So does anyone have any final questions or comments? Off of my phone. I have Maybugs.
No,
Yes.
I'm very glad I stopped by tonight. There was so much information and you're so helpful. I really appreciate it.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you for coming. It's always
pleasure.
nice to have you. Thank you. Yes, Carolyn. I see your big yes.
Oh, to the so many classes, so little time.
Oh, yeah. Yes, yes. There's just way too much to cover, to learn. So much to learn. But that's why we're all here. That's why we're all going to share our knowledge.
I know, but I just sometimes though it's just like information overload. It's you know,
Yeah.
pick something and zero in.
Yes, yes. So if you have any suggestions, any ideas for an upcoming roundtable, by all means, there is a post in the group. Just go into the featured and scroll over, and it's a picture of a guy with gray hair and glasses, and just add it to that. I check it regularly and go through it to see what's, to go over topics, and put these together so that I'm giving you guys this information. And if I don't know the answer, I will, by all means, I'm going to tell you. I don't know the answer. I want more time to get the answer. So thank you so much for everybody for coming. Katie, I did see that you unmuted yourself. I'm going to assume you had a question. Feel free to ask it.
Okay, I figured it out. No, it wasn't a question at all. But
Okay.
I did want to say, a few weeks ago, when I think it was a critique night, but nobody had put anything in the critique folder, you and Carolyn were so kind and showed me a ton of resources and reference books. And I have to say, I got some for my birthday. That was just a couple days ago. My husband, he said, "What do you want?" And he said, "How about reference books?" So my poor husband going on Amazon, buying Naughty Words for Nice Writers. Hilarious. I love this book so much. Romance, Emotion, and Erotica Writer's Phrase Book. I mean, they're so good. And then the behemoth of the Chicago Manual of Style. Good Lord. This thing is a brick.
I told you, it's huge and it's heavy. Oh,
Heavy.
it's a workout. You could, like, instead of dumbbells, just grab that sucker.
I'm gonna
Yes.
somehow figure out how to incorporate it in my yoga workout every morning, because I might as well, build some muscle and do some yoga.
Yes, yes, yes. And for those of us who want a lighter version, there is the e-version.
I'm a weirdo when it comes to reference books. I like to have them in front of me. I've tried the Kindle versions of a few of them, and I get overwhelmed going on the Kindle and navigating it. So it's like, I think it's that old school college, that's how we did it. We didn't have, when I was in college, we didn't have, all this stuff. I think we had one website we could go to for reference, and it was like some college library. That's all we had. We didn't have all this other stuff. So thank you guys so much for that. I love them. I think it's hilarious that I made my husband buy them for me. But they're really helping. I've been using them today.
Kara, I don't know if this was on the list, but self-editing.
Game changer. Game changer.
I'm writing it down. What is it?
Self-editing for fiction writers by Renee Brown and Dave King. This is a game changer. This is a must have. I've read it twice. I'm on to the second round, and I have already marked one copy. I have 2 copies. I got 2 copies. So I've already marked this one up, and it is absolutely a game changer. What you will learn in here will make your life so much easier. And it does not replace an editor by any stretch of the imagination, but it will be so beneficial. It will make your life so much easier when it comes to your self edits, your revisions, even your writing. There's things that I am, as I'm writing, I'm like, oh wait, no, I can't do that because that's against Rue. You want to give something to the readers and let them make up their own mind, right? So
Yeah. Okay, I'm ordering it right now off Amazon.
awesome.
So I forget.
Well, this has been absolutely lovely. Thank you, ladies, for coming out. I do appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedules and your evenings to come hang out with me and listen to me chatter. And I look forward to seeing you guys all next week when we have our PA coming in for a chat. I don't know if it's going to be another 2-hour session. I know it's going to be at least an hour long, but I don't think it's going to be 2 hours. But if you are not able to attend and you have questions, shoot me a message, let me know, and I can put them forth. It will be recorded and it will be going up on the YouTube channel. And yeah, so thank you again. Thank you so much. I'm so glad that you guys found this helpful, and I look forward to seeing you guys next week.
Great. Good night.
Have a good night.